Was Jesus teaching about self-defense during his discussion on swords? This is the question that we seek to answer today as we continue our verse-by-verse study of the book of Luke on Walking Through the Bible. If you have a Bible with you, you can turn to Luke 22. We're going to be reading from verses 31 to 38. If you don't have a Bible, don't worry. Just follow along with us on the screen. The version that we'll be reading from is the New King James Version. So, Luke 22, beginning at verse 31. And the Lord said, Simon, Simon, indeed Satan has asked for you, that he may sift you as wheat. But I have prayed for you, that your faith should not fail. And when you return to me, strengthen your brethren. But he said to him, Lord, I am ready to go with you, both to prison and to death. Then he said, I tell you, Peter, the rooster shall not crow this day before you will deny 3 times that you know me. And he said to them, When I sent you without money bag, knapsack, and sandals, did you lack anything? So they said, Nothing. Then he said to them, But now he who has a money bag, let him take it, and likewise a knapsack. And he who has no sword, let him sell his garment and buy one. For I say to you, that which is written must still be accomplished in me. And he was numbered with the transgressors. For the things concerning me have an end. So they said, Lord, look, here are 2 swords. And he said to them, It is enough. We've now advanced well into the night of Jesus' arrest. Jesus has eaten his final meal with the disciples. He has instituted the Lord's Supper. He warned them that one of them would betray him. And he has discussed the importance of service among the disciples as they argued about who was the greatest in the kingdom. Now he turns to talk to Simon. Jesus tells Simon that Satan has asked for him, that he may sift him as wheat. By Jesus telling Simon this reminds me of Job. It will be a while until we study the book of Job, but if you go and read on your own time the first 2 chapters of that book, you would find that Satan gained permission by God to test Job's faith, to see whether Job would curse God when Job's blessings were removed. Job was tested and did not curse God and did not abandon his faith. It appears here that we have something similar. God allows us to be tempted by the devil. This temptation, if we come through it without sinning by taking God's way of escape, will strengthen our faith in him. Peter had always been the most outspoken of the disciples. Even here, Peter says that he was ready to go with Jesus both to prison and to death. Peter was arrogant and trusted too much in himself. This arrogance made him a prime target for Satan, just as Judas's love of money made him a prime target for Satan. Jesus, though, told Peter that he had prayed for him, that his faith would not fail, and that when Simon had returned to Jesus, that he would strengthen his brethren. Jesus then told Simon that the rooster would not crow that day until Simon had denied knowing Jesus 3 times. Does that mean that Jesus' prayer went unanswered, or was given the answer of no by God? Not necessarily. Men and women sin against God, and when we do, we're worthy of death, according to Romans 6:23. But sin does not automatically cause our faith in God to fail. How we react to sin will determine that. Judas was going to betray Jesus, and when he realized that he couldn't get the chief priest to let Jesus go, he went out and hanged himself. Judas's faith in God failed. God could have forgiven him if Judas had repented. We're going to see a different reaction of Peter. He would sin by denying Jesus, but what did Peter do after that? He went out and wept bitterly. In other words, Peter repented, and he would strengthen his brethren going forward through his preaching. So Jesus' prayer was answered in the affirmative. Coming now to verses 35 to 38, we get a discourse that is only found in Luke. Jesus asked the disciples if when he sent them out on the limited commission in Luke 9, if they lacked anything. They answered no. Why was this true? Because they were treated hospitably by those in the cities that they entered. However, that was going to change. Jesus was popular among many of the people because of the miracles that he did. These people viewed him as the coming earthly king. When Jesus died, though, this hope in him was gone among those who were looking for this earthly king. And when the disciples went out to preach the message of the gospel of Jesus, which taught about salvation in Jesus apart from the law of Moses, salvation that included the Gentiles, things were going to change. They would not as easily find people willing to give them food and shelter. Moreover, they would also be traveling farther than simply Israel, meaning that they would need to take provisions. So he told them that when he sent them out again, they would take a money bag and a knapsack. He also said that he who has no sword, let him sell his garment and buy one. This command here has led to some confusion, and has led some to use this passage in order to teach that it is permitted in certain situations for a Christian to kill in self-defense. But was that what Jesus was teaching here? Not really. His teaching was about being prepared for the life they would lead. But if Jesus isn't condoning self-defense here, even if by inference, why would he permit them to take a sword? Are swords only used as weapons to kill people? No. They can be used to clear brush, to kill animals, which they might need to do if people aren't providing them food, and to prevent someone from attacking in the first place. Think about guns today. If someone has a gun in a holster, and it is visible, how many people choose to attack that person? Not many, for they would be afraid that the gun would be used on them. Likewise, it is with a sword. It could act as a deterrent as well. Under the old law, killing in self-defense was highly regulated according to Exodus 22:2 and 3. You were only allowed to kill a thief in your house at night. We're not under this law today, so we can't use it to justify killing in self-defense. There are numerous examples that would teach about loving our enemies and not trusting in earthly riches, so proponents of killing someone in self-defense are hard-pressed to find New Testament support for such a position. Jesus told the disciples that all things concerning him and his death would be fulfilled, including Isaiah 53 verse 12, which said that he would be numbered among the transgressors. Now the disciples, thinking that Jesus was still talking about swords, showed him that they had two swords, to which Jesus basically brushes them off by saying, "It is enough," and then heads out to the Garden of Gethsemane. With that, our time is up for today. The Lord willing, we hope you'll join us for tomorrow's discussion of Luke 22 verses 39 to 46, as we continue our walk through the Bible, one verse at a time. Thank you for watching today's episode. We hope that you found it edifying and ask that you not only subscribe to our channel and podcast, but that you like and share this episode among your friends, so that the saving gospel of Jesus Christ can go out to the whole world.